I'm warning you, I'm not monetizing this video because there's no point. I'm going to be saying some bad things about Muslim culture and what happened at the Nova Festival on October the 7th. If you'd rather not hear that, look away now. I keep going back to the events in Israel on October the 7th, not so much because of my sympathy with Israel. I have plenty and I don't apologise for that, but because of my feminism, the old sort, the sort that believed women were women. I keep going back to October the 7th because that was a day when a lot of men made war, not on a country, but upon women and children. Those despicable leeches made war on women and children, and that's why I can't let this subject go. I'm Graniopteryx. Okay, so I'm going to start by reading this. It was a Facebook post I saw. Hamas burnt... Oh, no, sorry, it's a picture. Hamas burnt her alive and proudly posted it on social media. They posted it on social media. Even the Nazis didn't publicly boast about their evil deeds. Hamas have promised to repeat their October the 7th atrocities again and again until every Jew is exterminated. And then the person who posted this, oh no, it wasn't Facebook, it was Twitter. Sorry. Okay, Hamas are ISIS, he said. And look at this girl here. Hamas are not ISIS. They are in a different category even than ISIS. They are in a uniquely evil category all of their own. ISIS killed and enslaved Yazidis on the grounds that Yazidis aren't proper Muslims. But they never talked about exterminating them. They wouldn't have exterminated a beautiful girl like that because she'd have been too valuable. While ISIS were doing what they were doing in order to establish a caliphate, Hamas were doing what they were doing only in the service of destruction. They had no further program, and it didn't matter if they destroyed themselves as well as the Jews because they had nothing to offer. There is no grand Palestinian culture in Gaza that they could enlighten the world with. They had nothing to offer, and they knew it. Now, yeah, I don't have it. I couldn't find it, but I do remember seeing a video of one of the interviews the Israeli army was conducting with a captured... I can't even call him a fighter. Brigand. And the interviewer said he was describing what was done to the women, and the interviewer asked him, "Why did you do that?" And this brigand said, "We wanted to humiliate them. We wanted to dirty them." Which means that he thought he was really well below these people. I'm not saying that Muslims are inferior. I'm saying that he thinks Muslims are inferior. They knew they had a grotesquely inferior culture there in Gaza. Now, I don't have a tremendous amount of respect for Muslim culture as a whole. I have to say that. I think it's a barbaric religion. But the problem is that all religions start off barbaric. They go through their barbaric phases, but they can change themselves as civilization kicks in. But the problem with Islam is that because everything that's in the Quran is holy writ and cannot be contradicted, if Muhammad says you've got to cut a thief's hands off, then that's the commandment from God. You can't really get away from that. You can't reinterpret it. Or it takes a lot to do that. And they're not doing that. So it remains in its barbaric 7th century form. And that's the problem with Islam that I have. But Hamas were even worse than that. They'd gone down an even more poisonous rabbit hole. And they couldn't create anything. They had got to a dead end of their civilization, which was completely self-destructive. So they had to destroy what was annoying them so much. Look, they could simply have shot this poor kid here. But they burned her. They did that because she was beautiful. And their whole purpose was to destroy beauty. Because they themselves were ugly. Have you seen what Sinwar looks like? He is as ugly as sin. And I'm using that expression deliberately. I saw an interview given by Tony Lauren. I don't know much about her, except she was talking to Talk TV, and it was an episode called Why is the US still funding the UN? And that caught my attention because it's a question I was asking as well in a previous video. And then underneath that, in brackets, feminism is a joke. Well, certainly the way the UN are playing it, isn't Iran the head of the Human Rights Committee or something? Anyway, Lauren said that Hamas was using sexual violence as a tool of war. I'd say burning that girl alive was more than sexual violence. Well, yes, they were using sexual violence, but it's more than that. When they went on the rampage in the Nova Festival, I'm talking specifically about that now, they found a lot of beautiful, free, idealistic young women who were more beautiful than the shrouded, mutilated women of their creation back over in Gaza. And in a frenzy of despair at their own sense of inferiority, they had to destroy it. They had to, as that Hamas thief, robber and rapist said, they had to dirty it. So saying Hamas is ISIS, no, it isn't. And I don't even believe in the devil, but if you saw the devil rampaging across any countryside, anywhere in the world at any time, it was then. Yeah, till next time.